It's your boy C-Boz, and you watching C-Boz TV, and today's topic is I want to talk about guys like Long Live Langston and shit like that. About how it's a video I was watching him saying about how the 90s era is over. That's the name of the title of his video. The 90s era is over, and the old heads need to move on, get over it, because we ain't in the 90s no more. And shit like that, how life was good and all that. He was touching on how shit like, stuff like how, shit about how he don't want to he don't want to go back in the past and all that. He wanted to move forward. And my take on that shit is that since we in the 2020s, in the 21st century and all that, my nigga, why? Why you don't want to go back to where days was simple and free and all? Not free, but simple, where things were just simple and all that. Yes, you had to do chores and all that, but that's basic, simple shit as you should do as a kid and all that, and slash teenager and shit like that. But why you want to live in this fucking age, in this day of age where the economy is fucked up, rent is fucking high, food is expensive than a motherfucker and all that. Motherfuckers so sensitive with the whole what gender you is and all that type of shit. People motherfuckers sensitive, soft. Why you want to live in this quality of fucking era of the 2020s, man? I blame Obama for this shit. I blame Obama and Joe Biden for pushing this fucking agenda of making it okay to support gay marriage and all this type of shit. I put all the blame on President Obama for making this shit okay, acceptable. Ever since Obama became president and all that, it became worse. No shade, no disrespect and all to the Obamas, because I fuck with the Obamas and all that. I fuck with Michelle and shit like that. But he's one main reason why he didn't do shit for the black community at all. Neither president that we had, where there was George Bush, after Obama, like, and all that, but fuck all politics. I ain't into that politics, Republican, Democrat type shit. I could care less about that about motherfucking politics. I don't even fucking vote, so why niggas like him don't want to go back to the days that was simple and all that? Or if you didn't want to be a teenager or adult, a teenager or a kid in the 90s, at least say that you wish you was fucking older. You wish you was an adult in the 90s. Where you don't want to go back to the past of being that and all that. My nigga, my era was the 2000s. I didn't grow up in the fucking 90s. I grew up in the 2000s and the 2010s. I was a teenager in the 2010s. But my childhood, my prime childhood years that I peaked as a kid, as my childhood, that is more memorable, that I remember, is the 2000s and my teenage years, 2010s. So, luckily, I am blessed enough to at least grew up into some good ass music. I don't know if I'm biased or not. I could say I'm man enough to say I'm a little biased when it comes to music, but I'ma say to this day I will always say that the 2000s was better than the 90s and all that. But I admit the 90s, we wouldn't be the 2000s, 2010s would have never been shit if it wasn't for the 90s. When it came to fashion, and when it comes to fashion and hip hop, all that type of shit and combined, when it came to hip hop and the fashion and all that, motherfuckers that made it in the 90s, made it harder for us by making it easier for us to make it into the 2000s, for us to eat. Everybody was eating in the 2000s. Everybody in the 90s wasn't eating as much as we were in the 2000s. My bad, in the 2000s and in the 2010s. We was fucking eating. Most of the motherfuckers in the 2000s was starving. That's why some of them albums, some people albums in the 90s wasn't making like good record sales like that. But man, if I had to, I would go back in the 2000s. I just wish I was an adult, living my adulthood in the 2000s. Than being a child in the 2000s. I wish I was a little bit more older in the 2000s. So the 2000s, in my opinion, was the last great years and all that. And it was the last good years close to the 90s. That we ever got close to the 90s, the 2000s. We was spoiled in the 2000s, bro. I ain't gonna lie, we was spoiled. We just didn't know how good we had it in the 2000s. Where there was a PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, where there was the PlayStation 2, the Xbox 360, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy, the PlayStation 3, even though I never had a PlayStation 3, some part of me wished that I owned a PlayStation 3, but my favorite was always, I grew up more on the PlayStation 2. I never had an Xbox. I was always a team PlayStation dude. So part of me wished that I was more older, but at least I was blessed enough to be a kid. Facebook wasn't even advanced or was developed or wasn't growing yet. It didn't grow until like the late 2000s. All we had in the 2000s was MySpace, Black Planet, AOL. I remember my older cousins, my older half brothers was talking about they had Black Planet and MySpace and all that, and AOL. We didn't even have YouTube yet. YouTube was started in 2005 and then start to grow into the late 2000s. In order for us to like listen to music, we wound up going on yahoomusic.com to listen to music, or wind up watching 106 in Park if you want to watch, and we wound up in the commercials. We wound up getting CDs. Nigga, we wound up buying CDs around that time with our CD fucking players and all that. That was our when we wanted to like listen to our favorite rappers, and when we wanted to watch when we want to listen to our favorite rappers, or wait for their album to drop. We go to the stores, we get off our lazy asses, go to Best Buy, Target, or whatever fucking, or Walmart, and we go buy their fucking albums, they CDs, and put that shit in a CD player. Or if you go ride with our parents or our uncles that was raising us, we put that bitch into they thing, into their audio jack or wherever the fuck that was. That was CD player, disc or some shit. And all that. Y'all get what the fuck I'm trying to say. And we listen to that shit in the whip and all that. So yeah. We had it made in the 2000s, bro. For real. But yeah, that's all I had to say about the 2000s. You just had to be there, and life was simple with the whole Game Boy, PlayStation 2, PSP. The Nintendo was around. The Wii didn't start coming around until like late 2000s, early 2010s. So we had it made, and 50 Cent had his own video game, Bulletproof, back in '05. Then you had True Crime, New York City, Def Jam, Fight for New York. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas being the top selling video game of all time. Bad Boy Miami Takedown was the worst game. This is when they made video games off of movies like Into the Matrix, Scarface, The Godfather. Then you had Mafia. Then you had movies that came off the video, when they made video games from the same title of the movie. And then there was soundtracks, movie soundtracks that matches the movie, that matches the meaning, the theme of the movie back in the day. Man, we had it made, bro. The Next Friday soundtrack, Men in Black 2 soundtrack, the cartoons was even taught kids life lessons back in the day, like Codename Kids Next Door, Ed, and Eddie, The Avengers of Billy and Mandy, Foster's Imaginary Friends, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10, the original Ben 10, fucking Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Jackie Chan Avengers, Stab Shot, Ozzy and Drix. Cartoons that was stacked. The Romeo Show, Just Jordan. When Nickelodeon had some black shows back in the day. Next, the Classified School Survival Guide. Drake and Josh, That's So Raven, The Proud Family, Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire. And you mean to tell me you don't want to, this nigga also the nigga that don't want to go back to the 90s, but me, I want to go back to the 2000s. Basketball wasn't that soft yet. Until like the mid 2010s, that's when shit got so sour and soft. The 2000s was the last great years of physical, real basketball, where men fucking played basketball, the game. Kobe, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Derek Fisher, Allen Iverson, Latrell Sprewell was still playing in the 2000s. Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony. When LeBron James wasn't a bitch. Who else? Chris Bosh, Amari Stoudemire, Darius Miles, Quentin Richardson, Q Rich, aka Q Rich, Steve Nash, Gilbert Arenas, Kawhi Brown, bust ass nigga, number one bust. But you was decent. You was decent with the Lakers. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Kawhi Brown, but that nigga was a bust, but he wasn't a terrible bust. If y'all get what I'm trying to say, but Kwame Brown, fucking Rayford Austin, aka Skip to my motherfucking Lou, Hot Sauce, the N1s, motherfuckers, Professor. When basketball was even more hot, man. Allen Iverson, like I said, Chris Rebel, like I said, Mike Bibby, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Gary Payton, Karl Malone still playing when he went to the Lakers. Trevor Ariza, Shannon Brown, Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Ron Artest, who goes by Metta World Peace now, but I know him better known as Ron Artest, Ben Wallace, Reggie Miller when he was playing with the Pacers. Couldn't stand fuck Reggie Miller when he was on his way out in the Indiana Pacers back in '05. Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson, ugly ass, coon ass. Matt Barnes, Steve Blake. Niggas that you remember in 2000 when it came to 2000s basketball. Talk to your dome. I said Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom. I'm glad he's doing better now. Lamar Odom. Trash ass, mediocre ass Smush Parker. Luke Walton. The only reason why he made it into the league because of his dad, Bill Walton. Rasheed Wallace. Motherfucking Chauncey Billups. Motherfucking J.R. Smith. Kenyon Martin. Jason Kidd. Like niggas that you remember. Dirk Nowitzki. Born ass Tim Duncan. You mean to tell me you don't want to go back and experience the 2000s, bro? But you don't want to go back to the 90s? But I want to go back to the 2000s? Man. Time was just, man, you just had to be there. NBA Street Ball Volume 2. NBA 2K2. Motherfucking, what else that was hot in the video games? NBA 2K2. NBA Live 06. I did say NBA Street Ball Volume 2. Motherfucking, what was that? Even SpongeBob had his own video game where, what was that game? I think it was Battlefield. I don't know. I forgot. Call of Duty 2 Big Red, the original, not the Call of Duty of the 2010s. I'm talking about real life, the real fucking Call of Duty. Like the real Call of Duty went along with the video game when it had Men of Honor. I think it was Men of Honor or some shit. It was the video game that was before Call of Duty. That was the original Call of Duty. I think it was called Men of Honor. It was on the PlayStation 2. I think it was Maid of Honor or some shit. But yeah, Call of Duty Big Red One or some shit was the name. I remember having that video game. Twisted Metal, I remember having that on PlayStation 2. Oh, Tony Hawk. Man. Underground Volume 2, I think I remember having that one. But y'all see what I'm saying? The 2000s was the last great era of good shit. Scooby-Doo was hot. Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, Monsters Unleashed. I remember everybody used to talk about that in school. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 when they was hot. I saw all three of those motherfuckers at the movie theaters. I saw Bad Boys 2 was my first rated R movie. At 6 years old, I saw that at the movies with my cousins. I remember seeing Bad Boys 2, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, all three of the Spider-Mans, Men in Black 2. I saw Killers with Ashton Kutcher. That was in the 2010s. I remember seeing Soul Man, but I wound up walking out and I wound up watching the other Bernie Mac movie. Madagascar, Escape to Africa or some shit. I remember seeing how Madagascar was a big deal in the 2000s, 2008. G.I. Joe, Wise and Cobra I saw. Who else? What else? I saw a lot of fucking movies. I saw a lot of fucking movies at the movie theaters. Oh, Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, I saw that back in '09. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, I saw Finding Nemo in the movies. Even though I wanted to see Too Fast, Too Furious, but I wanted to see Finding Nemo back in '03 when I was 6. A lot of fucking movies that was like good. Like even in the movie theaters, it's not good. You can't even watch good. There's nothing good, nothing nostalgia good about the movies to go to the movie theaters. Everything that's good, everything nowadays is all about streaming. You gotta, in order to watch good movies, you gotta go to fucking Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max and all that to watch that type of shit. Even the sitcoms was stacked. Everybody Hates Chris, My Wife and Kids, The Bernie Mac Show, The Bernie Mac Show. That was still good, just like up to like the 90s compared to the 90s. You had good shows in the 2000s and all that. And I feel like the 2000s is the most underrated, slept on era there is. Pump, MTV Cribs. They was the shit, man. And that one cartoon where it was like Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch was good. 106 in Park, like I said. Rap City in the Basement. We need to put some respect on the 2000s, aka the new millennium, Y2K. Come on, man. Oh, I saw the Fighting Temptations in '03. I saw that movie twice in the movie theaters. But yeah, put some respect on the 2000s. That's all I say. One love and peace.